I will have a little experience today. I was thinking that, sometimes just try to first get yourself comfortable, get relaxed. And I would like you to try and remember or conjure up that mood that you have when you're about to pray. You know, there is an awakening of sincerity when we're about to pray or when we find ourselves in the need of prayer, really needing to connect with the Supreme Lord. It's so sobering. Nothing else has any importance. Um, we're aware of the Supreme Lord and we're about to call upon him. We have something we'd like to say. Oftentimes, as a young boy, I was petitioning him for one thing or another, but the acknowledgement of the Supreme Lord was there. So I think most of us can remember that mood. Well, that's not the mood I'm thinking of right now. I want you to put that mood on the side. And I want you to go back to your regular self, how you are before you get to that prayerful mood, how the days go by and we're just busy, we're enthusiastic, we're trying to do things. So I'm going to use myself. Um, I oftentimes, sometimes with older God brothers or God sisters, I look up and sometimes I'm getting static. Sometimes I do this or they call me, they want me to do this thing or that thing. And I say, okay. And then, no, don't do it like that. Do it like this. Okay. And then there's another adjustment. And at a certain point, I think, why are they bothering me today? I mean, I'm trying to get along and do. I just start feeling bothered, like anyway, I'm just going to tolerate it. That kind of tolerance seems to me that I'm just tolerating the fact that they're just doing stuff to me. And then sometimes I think, well, are they going through something? So, be calm. And then there's other times when you can feel that you've been slighted just by a peer, you know, just giving things are just giving you a hard way to go. When you already have your mind set on what you're going to do and how you're going to do it, and these things keep happening with different individuals. And sometimes you start thinking about the individual, what's his problem? What's her problem? Well, anyway, I'm not going to take it to heart that much. So there, you've been tolerant and you've been humble. But if you keep that mentality, it will grow deeper and deeper. And then you'll think, well, maybe they're just acting jealous today. What is their problem? And if you listen further, you may begin to dissect and break down and find bad qualities or bad habits in a karmi or in the devotee. And where's this coming from? Well, they're just doing things. Now let's go back and start trying to look deeper. Let's look at the fact that I've been asking Krishna for how many years to help me. And I know I have a problem with just a couple things, but I can name a couple right now. One is tolerance, and the other one is humility. But I tell Krishna, I have a problem and I want you to help me to become humble and help me to become tolerant. Because it's as if it's a prerequisite for, really chanting your holy name. You said that we should chant the holy name in a humble state of mind, consider ourselves, lower than the straw in the street, more tolerant than the tree, devoid of all sense of pride, false prestige, and ready to offer all respects to others without expecting anything in return. So did you mean it? I meant it, Krishna. Okay. So now let's change the perspective. Let's change the lens. Let's look at ourselves. Let me look at me and say, well, actually, I didn't got away with so many things in life I thought I did. So I had a hard day and it was really giving me a hard way to go. But Krishna, I want to thank you because when I try to tolerate the things that are taking place with me and other people, I find that they can't experience what's going on in my mind. Their intelligence isn't scrutinizing. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm listening to my mind. Or they're pricking my false conception of self, who I thought I was in comparison to them. But you're so kind because you've let me know that I'm Das, son of Das. And actually, I'm trying to chant your name with some enthusiasm. So I'm going to take whatever comes, Krishna. Please let me see my shortcomings. Please let me serve the devotees. And in that way, when you look at it from that perspective, you feel humiliation, understanding that, God, I'm still failing. I don't have good quality. I'm not such a fixed up person. So it's humbling. You're humiliated at the fact that you just can't seem to get it together. And from that humiliation, the false ego rolls back a little bit. That self of sense, the sense of self-worth and how important you are becomes shrunk, and you become an insignificant servant of Krishna. And in that reflection, then you become grateful. Oh, Krishna, thank you so much. I didn't know how I'm going to become a better person, but by you keeping me in association of devotees, they're trying to help me. I can see it. My shortcomings become manifest. And actually, the devotees love you. But because I'm identifying with my false sense of self, then I'm messing everything up. Thank you so much. So now, that gratitude, which is the manifestation of the humility, which helps me be tolerant. Now I can pray to Krishna. And how is it happening? It's called purification, Cheto Darpana Marjana. Because I'm asking, I'm begging, I'm petitioning the Lord to cleanse the heart of all those unwanted things. It's dark, that thick dirt, dust. Now maybe I'm ready. So, we've been going through the different keys. I'm going from book to book, but I was thinking of something nice that I was reading the other day. And so it was in Namashraya, taking shelter of the holy name. Just give you a little tidbit. Namashraya literally means finding shelter at the feet of the holy name. We are servants who need the shelter of our masters, especially of Nam Prabhu. If we actually wish to offer savor, we must become humble and then seek shelter. Steadily and fully taking shelter of Krishna is Nistha platform. There is no way to circumvent it if we wish to reach the higher stages of bhakti. Fortunately, the universe cooperates with the endeavor to become humble and seek shelter. Just try to do anything in this world, and you will discover this truth for yourself. But few of us willingly choose humility. which is so bitter to the false ego. Still, humility is a reflection of the true self. We are not only servants, but insignificant servants eternally. I thought that was such a nice reflection. Bitten, hit that false ego, and everything flares up. But who am I? We're just insignificant servants, eternal. So this is the consciousness we want to walk with on a daily basis. This is the companion we need. This is not self-esteem. I always say that. This is a manifestation of knowledge. The humility enables us to open up and see a thing as it is. See the insignificance of ourselves and the importance of taking shelter of the devotee. So we're going to move further. I want to pray. But before I go to the holy name, I want to find something else. I want to find those reasons, those things. I hope you're remembering, because this is in Nam Rahasya. Because we're going from book to book. We're using our keys, aren't we? Yeah, we're using our stuff. Okay, so here. These things are still in me. Why? Because mine are, we have a strong love for the fleeting world. 2, remember this was Bhakti Siddhanta. We identify the soul with the material body made of flesh and blood, and with the subtle body made of mind, intelligence, and false ego. 3, we have knowledge of or attachment to things other than Krishna. And 4, we are have an extremely subservient mood to Maya. But we want to remember these things. And now, in that remembrance, we're thinking about, we want to approach Krishna. And do you remember, I used to use this prayer so much, but I don't like to forget it. It's horror, but I want to feel this mood of this prayer. And so until I can get that, it's a hard one for me. Where you say, my dear Lord Krishna, although I have forgotten you for so many years in the material world, today I am surrendering unto you. I am your sincere and serious servant. Please engage me in your service. This is such a nice prayer, but what is it going to take for me to feel it? To feel it. This Japa Rehab is not for me to sit here and grab book to book or remember thing from thing and talk about it and say, and that we get together and we have 10 minutes of feeling good and oh, that was good. This is not about that. This is about saving ourselves. And I can tell you something. The only reason why I'm associating with you is because I need you. I don't have a higher association. Therefore, I figured this out with Krishna. If I would try to share a little bit of what I have, I don't have that much, but if I try to share it, then your flames will ignite. Krishna will be satisfied because I'm trying like that sparrow. And I'm expecting the Krishna Garuda to come and help me empty the ocean. My ocean is an ocean of nescience. So when you get into the association of devotees are magic. They're empowered. Why? Because they belong to Krishna. And Krishna loves the devotees. So I want some Krishna. I did come to that conclusion. Therefore, I'm going to his devotees. And in that mood, the devotees tell me things. The devotees teach me things. And there's reciprocation because Krishna speaks from the devotees. Krishna goes within the heart of every living entity. But he He reciprocates as they surrender. He reciprocates accordingly. Mom, your pradente. Anyway, my head's not there today, but reciprocally, he says, as we surrender, he reciprocates. So devotees want Krishna. Therefore, I can approach you like that, and we can talk about Krishna. And he said it himself. This is just not a good sounding verse. It is the practical process that we go through. So, with that understanding, I'm going to keep coming. But the thing is, we're going to have to be a little more open. You're going to have to share a little more. I feel as though you're being a little stingy. I'm saying that, because you don't empty your realizations. You don't share them so openly with me. Your experience, your endeavor in trying to change the trajectory is saying, no, Maya, you don't have us. We're going back home, back to Godhead. Why? Because this is why we come to the material world. Krishna has made this situation so that at least, although we think we come here to enjoy, to get our God project going on, that's true. We got full facility, doesn't work that well, but we got full facility to lord over Krishna's, external energy. It's not so easy. He explains that too. But the other thing is that it's an opportunity for us to come back home, back to Godhead, because Krishna is constantly coming, and he's constantly sending his devotees. So think of this experience that however you bumped into the devotees or to non-Prabhu, this is all arrangement by Krishna. Why? Oh, now we're going to hit the L word. Here comes the love. And attached, Krishna is so in love with us that even when we leave, he says, okay, you can go, but I'm going too. So it's the super souls here. And that's the other part. Meeting the Lord within the heart. Anyway, I'm not going to go there. I'm going to go to the Shastika prayers. But I think the point for me is that we have to really take this japa to a platform of realism. This isn't the ritual that we sit down and do for 2.5, whatever. This is the lifestyle that we're asking for, a lifestyle which is filled with Krishna. And Krishna likes to hear his name. Mother Vrindavaneshwari, hey Drona, hey Mother Japa Rehab, hey Mother Radhika. He'd like to hear your name. Where do we get it from? Krishna, say my name, say my name. Krishna, say Krishna's name. He likes it. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. When Krishna hears that call that he hasn't heard for so many years, imagine. And he knows each and every one of us. So it's exciting. And in order to really get the relationship going, to see Krishna within the heart, to really develop a relationship with Govinda on a battlefield of Kurukshetra, oh Sharma Sundar, stealing the gopis' clothes and dancing as he gets bigger in the night. What to speak of that little Krishna, stealing everything he gets his hands on, especially the butter, the yogurt, smeared all over his face. I just love seeing him. But if we want a relationship with Krishna, It's going to start for us with Nam Prabhu. Nam Prabhu is Krishna making himself available. He makes himself available for us. Ravinder Sri Prabhu says, and we too must make ourselves available for Krishna. That is the trick. That we become available. We're there so that we can partake in this relationship. So, and as you know, Krishna says that, these names, he's invested all his potencies in these names. There's no hard and fast rules for chanting these names. Everything is there. But Lord Chaitanya says, our problem is, I'm so unfortunate that I have no attraction for it. So, okay, are we there? We're going back to the Shastika prayers. And my computer is acting pretty crazy. It's acting, it doesn't want to cooperate, but I don't care. Because, okay, Mother Shobharade, we're going to pull up those prayers. Oh, and I want to tell y'all something. I never finished the very end of the Nam Rahasya. And we're not going to finish it because it's all sweet, thick nectar. And we want to purify ourselves so that when we go back to the very end of the Nam Rahasya, we can appreciate as servants. So right now we're going through these the Shastika prayers, and we want to continue hearing like this.
Where do you want to start, Prabhu?
Well, Mother, we have to start reading. We have to read 1, read 2, because we have to become redundant. We got to go. You're going to read 1, you read 1, 2, 3, and then then I'm going to get involved. We're going to read together, We have to say them every day. Drona, can they be any bigger? Because my computer, I usually have it, but it's not.
Mother Shobharade
Is
Mother
that good?
Shobharade's got it. Okay.
Is that good, or would you like
Just
it
give it
bigger?
a little bigger, Mother. Come on. Some people are old and can't see it. Got it. Okay.
So,
Yeah.
so Haryashra Prabhu, just one quick comment. So we have it from the Chaitanya Charitamrita, as Mother Shobharade has it up on the screen, but it's not in sequence. The only issue,
I know.
we can't find one in sequence that has this translation.
It's okay. We're
Right,
just
so
going
we
to,
have to do it like this.
we keep rolling. Look at all that nectar we had last week.
And-
Those prayers in between, there's pearls all over the place.
yeah.
This section is just
Very
saturated with nectar, So, hey, first, this was our first one. Cheto Darpanamarjanam, Bhava Mahadavagni Nivapanam, Triya Kavara Chandrika, Piranam Vijavadu Jivanam, Anandam Budi Vardhanam, Pratipadam Pranam Ratas Vardhanam, Sarvatmasnapanam Param, Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtana. Read it, Mother.
Let there be all victory for the chanting of the holy name of Lord Krishna, which can cleanse the mirror of the heart and stop the miseries of the blazing fire of material existence. That chanting is the waxing moon that spreads the white lotus of good fortune for all living entities. It is the life and soul of all education. The chanting of the holy name of Krishna expands the blissful ocean of transcendental life. It gives a cooling effect to everyone and enables one to taste full nectar at every step.
We're going to chant that every day. At home, you have to chant these every day. Keep rolling them, take it off, Mother, and then roll to the second one. I'm not going to read the other ones in between. It's just too much nectar. So you just go back, and then you can see, you just go through all the trance. Yeah, and then you go to Nanam. There we go.
Nam
Go on, Mother, chant it.
Namna Makari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktish Tatrarpita Niyamita Smaranena Kala Etadrishi tava kripa bhagavan mamapi durdaivam idrisham ihajani nanuraga. My Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, in your holy name there is all good fortune for the living entity, and therefore you have many names such as Krishna and Govinda by which you expand yourself. You have invested all your potencies in those names, and there are no hard and fast rules for remembering them. My dear Lord, although you bestow such mercy upon the fallen, conditioned souls by liberally teaching your holy names, I am so unfortunate that I commit offenses while chanting the holy name, and therefore I do not achieve attachment for chanting. Trinadapi sunichena taror iva sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. One who thinks himself lower than the grass, who is more tolerant than a tree, and who does not expect personal honor, but is always prepared to give all respect to others, can very easily always chant the holy name of the Lord. I think this one we can keep discussing for days.
Well, the thing is, Mother, we're going to discuss them all for days, but now we're going to go now. Okay. After that one, let's see what's the next one. What's the next verse? Oh yeah. Is this the very next one?
No.
I want the very next one after
Yeah.
Trinada Pisunichena. I don't know what I've done wrong.
Na dhanam na janam na sundarim kavita.
No. Before we go there, we want to get that nectar in between. Remember how we were last week? We're getting all that. We're going that nectar in between the verses. How many verses? I can't pull it up. Yeah. Now, exactly. So when you finished Trinana Pisunichena.
This is
okay. Yes. So now we're going to go to the next. We did that one already. Yes. So go to the next verse.
Uttama hana apanake mane trinadhama dvi prakare sahishnuta kare vriksha sama.
Okay.
These are the symptoms of one who chants the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Although he is very exalted, he thinks himself lower than the grass on the ground, and like a tree, he tolerates everything in two ways.
You see, although we have these 8 stanzas, listen, these are the symptoms. These are the symptoms of one who chants the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Although he is very exalted, he thinks himself lower than the grass on the ground. And like a tree, he tolerates everything in 2 ways. So you see how we're expecting in our everyday life a change to manifest. Why? Because we're no, Mother, you're going back. You're going to keep reading because we're chanting. As we chant, we expect some result, some change. And if there's no change, it's because of the offenses. It's very scientific. I really, really wish I could stop committing so many offenses. And of all the 10 offenses, there's a couple big ones, but inattentiveness is really bad. Calling Krishna and not being there for him, that's bad. You know, we know that the mad elephant offense. But we don't realize how bad it is when we just keep calling Krishna's name and we are not there. Because how can we be present? We remain conscious. We remain aware. How do we remain aware of Krishna? Give me a practical example that we can stay conscious when we're chanting Hare Krishna. I'll give a hint. There's only 9 keys.
There are only 9 keys.
I hear somebody.
Focus on one mantra at a time.
Hare Krishna, one mantra at a time. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We're just present. We're staying present. What's that mantra? We're not going anywhere. Oh, I chanted bad rounds earlier. Forget about it. Hare, did you hear it? Krishna. And so that way we stay with it. We stay with the mantra, one mantra at a time. Stay conscious of the mantra that you're chanting. Stay present. The term is we stay present. And in that way, if we stay present, it helps us with not letting the mind, because the mind doesn't take our big body. He doesn't take the soul out of the body, but the soul is perceived through consciousness. So the mind snatches the consciousness. And the consciousness goes on this long journey to Hawaii because I wanted to go to Hawaii. And I'm chanting my rounds and it just happened to come in my head. And so I went there. No. We stay with Krishna. Okay, Mother, go to just hit next and let's go to the next prayer.
Vrikshayena katilehe kichu na bolaya sukana maileha kare pani na magaya. When a tree is cut down, it does not protest, and even when drying up, it does not ask anyone for water.
Those are the two things that he just spoke of. This tolerance is so important for our continuance in spiritual life. The absence of tolerance is our false ego. It's not going anywhere. it's just it's like an iron tree. It's not moving. And the whole thing is that as we chant the holy name nicely, it's so powerful. It's Krishna that it dissolves even the subtle body, But before everything, it cleanses, purifies everything. And we can see things from the right perspective. Now, you see why it's so important that we water this devotional creeper, the Bhakti Lata Beach, with sadhana, and with great sadhana, hearing and chanting. Because the more we hear about Krishna, we become a little attached. We become attached. You just keep hearing about Krishna, and he's so attractive. And so as we purify existence, we hear, like when you drink something nice and it's satisfying, especially like water, you want to drink some more. But this is nectar. This is super satisfying. So as we go through the Bhagavad-Gita and hear what Krishna has to say, go through the Bhagavatam and hear the glorification, the manifestation of Krishna and his devotees. It's just so wonderful that we go back and we hear more and more. And it just cleanses us. You hear that early part that Balabhadra always goes to in the Bhagavatam. It's regular attendance in class on Srimad Bhagavatam. All this troublesome stuff to the heart becomes practically destroyed to nil. And loving service to the Supreme Lord becomes established as an irrevocable fact. you know? And there's a whole slew of verses there. So there's so many explanations in the scriptures which strengthen us. Satruman says, it's like the scriptures are like astras, especially Bhagavad-Gita. Arjuna has a double quiver with endless arrows. So if we don't regularly hear and chant, when we pull for one of our arrows to dissipate the illusion, it gets stuck in the quiver because we're not used to pulling and letting it go. So we do that and constantly dissipating the illusions that come up within our life. Okay, Mother, don't let me talk too much. Let's keep moving. We got another verse to get to today.
Ye ye magaya tare deya apana dhana gharma vrishti sahe anera karaye rakshana. The tree delivers its fruits, flowers, and whatever else it possesses to anyone and everyone. It tolerates scorching heat and torrents of rain, yet it still gives shelter to others.
We give up the pettiness. We understand that we're servants. Servants help us give up this attitude of quarreling and holding grudges over these trifles, these small, insignificant things. How does this manifest in our devotional community? Identify it and kick it out. I'm a servant of Lord Chaitanya. I'm a servant of Lord Nityananda. Tag it. Put it on us. Das, das, das. Come on, Mother, keep moving.
Uttamahana Vaishnava habe nirabhimana jiva sammana dibejani Krishna adhishthana. Although a Vaishnava is the most exalted person, he is prideless and gives all respect to everyone, knowing everyone to be the resting place of Krishna.
I'm getting intoxicated. I don't know about you. I mean, this is just wonderful stuff. You know, we need to see devotees as they are. Devotees, they're shelter. They're shelter. Go back to that verse a little bit, Mother. Just one second. You know, I'm sorry. I'm lagging. You know,
It's okay.
Prideless and gives all respects to everyone. When the last time you saw your God brother or your God sister and says, Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances and meant it, you know? I gotta be honest, it gets harder for me to get down with my knees. But you know, I'm not a folding hand guy. I like to get down there, you know? Because we're acknowledging the Lord within their heart, but it's also an exercise which lets us know that we're servants. And they want to offer too because they're servants. This etiquette and this community, the more we follow proper etiquette, the community swells. And the false conception of self, it begins to die out. There's no place in a devotional environment for all this pride and self-aggrandizement and things like that. And it's there because that's the baggage I come with. It's a hospital. We try to rehabilitate ourselves to become back to purest, loving servants of God. We've even forgotten who we are. That's how bad the amnesia is. So we remember we're in a place, if someone has a couple bad habits left over, say, hey, they're here. I'm so grateful they're here. I'm so grateful we get to associate. I was worse than they were. I'm so grateful. And we serve. And this isn't a theatrical act. This is the reality of attaining knowledge. That's why transcendental knowledge is so important. Okay, I'm moving on.
Ei mata hana yei Krishna nama laya Shri Krishna charane tanra prema upajaya. If one chants the holy name of Lord Krishna in this manner, he will certainly awaken his dormant love for Krishna's lotus feet.
There's nothing to say. Go on, Mother.
Kahite kahite prabhura dainya badila suddha bhakti Krishna tani magite lagila. As Lord Chaitanya spoke in this way, his humility increased and he began praying to Krishna that he could discharge pure devotional service. Premera swabhava yaha premera sambandha se mane Krishna mora nahi prema gandha. Wherever there is a relationship of love of God, its natural symptom is that the devotee does not think himself a devotee. Instead, he always thinks that he has not even a drop of love for Krishna.
I came to a Bhakti Siddhanta and the purple is smoking, on fire. Should we, y'all tell me, now I'm trying to go to the verse. Should we peep at it? I won't.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
go for it, mother.
Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur comments that persons who are actually very poor because they possess not even a drop of love of Godhead or pure devotional service falsely advertise themselves as great devotees, although they cannot at any time relish the transcendental bliss of devotional service. A class of so-called devotees known as Prakrita Sahijiyas sometimes display devotional symptoms to exhibit their good fortune. They are pretending, however, because these devotional features are only external. The Prakrita Sahijiyas exhibit these symptoms to advertise their so-called advancement in love of Krishna, but instead of praising the Prakrita Sahijiyas for their symptoms of transcendental ecstasy, pure devotees do not like to associate with them. It is not advisable to equate the Prakrita Sahajiyas with pure devotees. When one is actually advanced in ecstatic love of Krishna, he does not try to advertise himself. Instead, he endeavors more and more to render service to the Lord. The Prakrita Sahajiyas sometimes criticize pure devotees by calling them philosophers, learned scholars, knowers of the truth, or minute observers, but not devotees. On the other hand, they depict themselves as the most advanced, transcendentally blissful devotees, deeply absorbed in devotional service and mad to taste transcendental mellows. They also describe themselves as most advanced devotees in spontaneous love, as knowers of transcendental mellows, as the topmost devotees in conjugal love of Krishna, and so on. Not actually knowing the transcendental nature of love of God, they accept their material emotions to be indicative of advancement. In this way, they pollute the process of devotional service. To try to become writers of Vaishnava literature, they introduce their material conceptions of life into pure devotional service. Because of their material conceptions, they advertise themselves as knowers of transcendental mellows, but they do not understand the transcendental nature of devotional service.
Devotional service and love of Krishna is Guyam. It's a secret. And it's a secret that can only be opened by devotees. Because the relationship, the awakened relationship between Krishna and his devotees is infused with all the understanding, all the secrets of the devotional life. So only the devotees can tell. And devotees have no reason to be proud because there's no real, as we really get purified, there's no identification with the false conception of self. As long as I keep saying I, but I like this, but I, that I is going to get us killed, But at least if we can take the I and say I'm, keep the I for I'm eternally a servant of the servant of the servant of the servant, servant, servant. That's who I'm, a servant of Krishna. But better, I'm serving Krishna's servant. And the one thing I'll say is that if we experiment like this, you find that you only get tastes. The taste in the material world is from sex life, from trying to enjoy separately. So we have an intoxication, but the real taste is from the Supreme Lord. So the soul can taste. We're tasters like Krishna, but we don't want to taste dry, putrid, nasty things. We want to taste the sweetness of devotional life, and the process is being explained here by Lord Chaitanya. If we want to become tasters, first we become servants of the servants and see ourselves in our true light. It's okay to know that we're fallen. It's actually really, it's so satisfying that I can finally realize and say, yeah, my situation is bad. Because I know there's help on the way. Help is here. So in that light, we don't have to be pretentious. We just say, okay, I want to change my life. I want Krishna. I want what he's offering. I don't always like the methodology which is explained, but that's what got me here anyway, thinking I'm important, misusing my independence, my minute independence. We should be there now. Let's see. Are we there, Mother? Are we there yet?
Yes.
Yep. Before you read it, we had to evolve to get here, okay? We didn't just get, we had to evolve. So there's a process. So whenever you feel as though you're not at a certain level, remember, it's a process. Okay, come on, Mother.
न धनं न जनं न सुन्दरीं कवितां वा जगद ईश कामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनीश्वरे भवताद् भक्तिर अहैतुकी त्वयि. O Lord of the universe, I do not desire material wealth, materialistic followers, a beautiful wife, or fruitive activities described in flowery language. All I want, life after life, is unmotivated devotional service to you.
We're not there today, but we're moving. That's where we're going to stay at, Mother. We're only up to this. This is the one that we're going to practice. This now we've got 4. We have 4. I don't want it. Oh Lord of the universe, I do not desire material wealth. Who can say that in all honesty? Material followers, a beautiful wife, or fruitive activities described in flowery language. All I want, life after life, is unmotivated devotional service. Pure devotional service. So we have some work to do, but this is in front of our eyes. This is where I'm going. This is what I want. I have no qualification, Krishna. I don't have a qualification. The only reason why I think it can happen is because Prabhupada said we could become pure lovers of God. So since he said it, I believe it. But, if you know you're a piece of work, you're a piece of work. But the process is more powerful than our degradation, our misidentification. The process is extremely powerful. And we've all, at some point, had a little drop of that taste. Other than that, the continuance wouldn't be here because we've had a taste and we try harder. And, you just have to remember, who has the mic, who's speaking. Listen closely. Am I hearing the form direction of the Supreme Lord as Paramatma? Because when you look back and you can see, when the Lord tells you to do something, when he's speaking to you, he tells you, phew, the door is open, and all you got to do is move. because now you've gotten his attention and he's moving you. Your mind is always, and it's always based on service and glorification and pleasing Krishna or Krishna's devotees. But when we stay the center, when it's always about us, then the mind's got us again. And the mind's real good, you know. It comes in a side door, the back door, it melts itself down. I mean, and the funny thing, the mind's just a secret agent. The real guy is the false ego. The mind's just out there, you know, working the field. Come on, get the senses acting, get the senses moving, you know, show him this, you know, promise him this, give him this. Come on, get the intelligence. Let's figure it out. Let's figure out how to get it. Lusty mind, lusty intelligence makes an ass of the living entity. Just throws us off. So we're so fortunate. I put in trying to get help. Ravinder Swarupa will come back in the Shastika prayers. Shraddha was away, so I haven't got a confirmation as of when. But I'm also going to petition Vishnu Gadad because he likes, you know, this man is reading CC to you every week. You know, get him again. There's so much nectar with Lord Chaitanya that we could get all the devotees, all the senior men to keep coming, and there'd still be more nectar to pour, because that's the way Krishna is. He's endless. He's just, I mean. Anyway, so let's talk about it a little bit, you know. We've got to this point. Let's open it up. Let's have some reflections.
If I could just go back to the point about humility and tolerance, I was just thinking about that. Humility is something we develop from within, but I feel tolerance is even more important. I mean, I think they're both important. Anything that is being said is very important, but tolerance especially, because I think tolerance comes in the form of tests. We are tested, and that is when we get a chance to practice our humility. I was just thinking, when the kids were little, I would read them a book called The Giving Tree by Shel Silverstein, just stick figures, but it's beautiful poetry, and it's the analogy of the tree. The tree takes on, and like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is talking about that tree, be as tolerant as a tree. The tree is abused from all sides, but still just continues to give.
Oh, Mother, just keep speaking. You're doing good.
And I think it's that needs to be. I don't know. I mean, today just I'm thinking of a tree. I'm looking at a tree in such a different light. I mean, I have read this book so many times to the kids. It's just that analogy is just so perfect. You know, it's abused by the weather. It's abused by people. But it keeps giving. It gives us shade. It gives us fruits. It gives us vegetables. It gives us wood, and we are, you know, still so ungrateful to it. Chop it down at the end, and it still continues to give. And I think tolerance is something we really need to focus on and try. I don't know.
Just like humility is a manifestation, is object of knowledge. Tolerance comes from having real knowledge. Knowledge of ourselves, knowledge of Krishna, knowledge of, you know, the way things are working. So let's go back to here. Let's go back to Nam Rahasya, Tatenu Kampam, Sushamikshamano, Jana Ivatma, Katam Vipakam, Vivag Vipurbeer, Pidadan Namaste, Vijaytiyu, Muktipade, Sadaya Bhak. My dear Lord, one who earnestly waits for you to bestow your causeless mercy upon him, all the while patiently suffering the reactions of his past misdeeds, and offering you respectful obeisances from his heart, words, and body, is surely eligible for liberation, for it has become his rightful claim. So we forget that the suffering and the reactions that we're experiencing are from our own past. You know, we're tolerating our own sinful, the reactions of our own sinful past. But the nice thing is that we're waiting, we're waiting for his causeless mercy. We're aware of him. We're not just saying, oh, why me? We got out of the center again. Why is this happening to me? Forget me. I'm a servant of God. I'm suffering the reactions of my past sinful deeds. By all the while, I know mommy's coming. Mommy said, you go through what you got to do, and I'm going to come get you. Mommy says she's coming. Mommy's coming. My heart's starting to swell because mommy's coming. She says she's coming. My faith is getting thicker. I'm suffering a little bit. But in a sense, I'm rejoicing because I know that's past now. That's over. That's done. I'm finished here. Mommy's coming. And so the consciousness of who we are, and grateful that Krishna's minimizing it. Gratitude comes in. You can be tolerant if you're grateful of something else. If you're grateful for the fact that we're here engaged like this. Why can't I tolerate? I'm so grateful that you're giving me another chance, Lord. And that comes from the humility. So this is real. And to the extent that we tap into it, and when we don't have it, then we pray, Krishna, please help me. I'm so weak. My determination is so flickering. I don't have determination, but you can give it to me. Could you please help me? Now we're back where we were when we first started this morning. We're at that spot in a prayerful mood, needing to call out to Krishna. Remember the consciousness I said we have when we're about to pray. Remember that consciousness, because that is the consciousness we want to have always. But we can't live other lives and expect to be able to pray to Krishna in all honesty. So the life that we have now when we pray, that is the life that we're working towards. That is why we're chanting these prayers. That is why we're petitioning the Supreme Lord to be engaged in his service, not in the service of his external energy, not a servant to my mind, senses, and false ego. I'm yours. I've abandoned you for so long in this material world, but today, right now, I'm surrendering unto you. Please engage me in your service. You gotta mean it. Now, I don't mean it all the time, but sometimes I do, And, it's probably like the salvationists want to stop the suffering. But actually, when I think about it, it would be kind of nice to be with Krishna. But I can't imagine how a person like me could fit in there. But when you're stuck in the Bhagavad-Gita, well, don't go with Lord Chaitanya. They are having so much fun. They're serving Krishna, glorifying Krishna, honoring Prasadam, having kirtan, and then they're passing out. And they're trying to revive it. This is the party of parties. It is so high class. There's no material inebrities. It's all pure glorification, pure loving God, serving God. How high class. And I'm stuck in this nasty body, in this material world. the nasty situations that come. But guess what? It's my fault. And Krishna is so kind that now I'm associated with devotees like yourselves. So that kind of that mindset enables you to tolerate. When you start not being tolerant, you should question it. We question ourselves. I do. I say, oh, whoa. Who's got the mic? Who you listening to? Is your mind telling you these things? Where are you getting this knowledge from about the devotee? Are you trying to criticize the devotee? Excuse me? And then you dissipate the illusion, and then you pull out your quiver. Bam, Japa. Do not criticize devotees. Dissipate it. Drop the whole thing. Offer your obeisances and love that devotee. Because I found the enemy, and the enemy is us. He's me. All these nasty things within me. Okay, come on. Let's get the reflections going.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you so much. I was reflecting this morning during Japa before I signed on. Like whenever something comes up, it's really hard. The brain just wants to take us in this. My brain's so ugh. My brain wants to take me in some negative place, and I've been it's really hard, but I've been practicing so much to just try and take that and just just remind myself, no. You just need to strengthen your sadhana. You need to strengthen your spiritual life. You need to strengthen your japa. And it's helping, it's like, even if I can't yet change my negative thoughts, I at least can change my thoughts to more of an inward space to say, okay, I know that these negative thoughts are over here, and I can at least put them to the side. And at least I try and at least, go back to myself and say, no, you got a problem. Focus on getting yourself stronger. Deal with that later, it's like sometimes I can't put a positive spin on it, but I can at least, kind of shelve it for a little bit and just remember that I have to just keep working on myself. Because I'm trying to trust in the process that, as I continue to grow spiritually and make that my number one focus above anything else, that my spiritual life and my japa is my number one focus every single day, that eventually Krishna will give me some mercy and clean me up a little bit, that these thoughts will kind of just become less negative, and I just thought I'd share that. I've got a long ways to go, but it's just something I've been trying to work on in the past few months. And anyway, I just thought I'd share that. I have nothing else with that.
Wonderful, Mother. This is what you do. I've never been in a rehab center. I went to Food for Life one time, and David, he had I guess it was a halfway house, and it was a homeless shelter, and they had a program, and they had a rehabilitation thing, and they would raise their hands and they would testify. And I thought it was so amazing. People say, sometimes people say they did such horrible things, but they weren't there anymore. They had moved on. And we went to chant Hare Krishna nicely. But if we are not aware of the things which are distracting us, which are stopping us, and which are hindering our successful chanting japa, then we're just going to be, robotic or mechanical japa. We want to chant with feeling. We want to become absorbed. So many things, are not really within our pay grade. But if we just become absorbed in that Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Please, Krishna, oh Radhe, please use me. Please use me. Let me remember. Please keep me at your lotus feet. Hare Krishna. Interject. Use one of your keys. Do you need Vandanam right now? Do you need to snatch humility? Yato Nishalati. My mind is wondering, hit the key. Yato Nishalati Manas Chantalam Astiram. Whatever that mind, bring it back. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. You know, use your keys. Use, and when everything's just going back, Hare Krishna, Nam Shraya. Just take shelter of the holy name. Just go inside. Just keep chanting. Krishna, I don't see how I could do anything. So I'm just going to take shelter of you. Just please. And that sounds pathetic. And I can tell you, I got to learn to beg. I'm getting a little closer. But forget that pride. We got to beg. Begging for the nectar. And ultimately, if we can get there, then that ninth key is the master key. Waiting for Krishna's causeless mercy. Krishna just does things whenever he feels like it. I've lodged complaints at him, but it doesn't work because he is in charge. We belong to him. And when you really sort it out, there's a loving relationship just waiting to be had the moment we decide to be a loving partner. Right now, it's unrequited, it's one-sided. Krishna's doing all the loving. But if we would just open ourselves up a little bit, he's so powerful, there's so much love that he even ignites the fire of love within us. So it's wonderful. Hey, Charu, I see you here. You've got so much nectar. What you sitting hiding back there for? Aren't you going to give any nectar, Charu Chandra Prabhu?
I have.
Yes. Why don't you give us some drops of nectar?
Maybe a connection problem.
We can't hear you, Prabhu. I think your connection's not good.
I'm not good?
No, I think it's on.
Charachandra.
Oh,
Nectar.
we can't hear. Wow. Well, I can't hear you, Cheryl, but anyway, that's okay. Miser. I mean, I do not criticize devotees.
I have bad connections.
Anyway, thank you so very much. Okay. We're getting down there. Are there going to be any more? Okay, I got to tell you a couple things. Are there going to be any more reflections? Mother Sita, I see you. Are you going to share?
I suppose so. So I was just, you've been talking about tolerance and then you said, it's just our past karma that we have been, we're living the challenges that we face. It's also true that we, as devotees, and obviously I'm only trying to be a devotee, but as devotees, once we surrender our lives to Krishna, all our karma is gone. Now, whatever challenges comes, it's really a test. For Krishna is putting all these little, we can call it a test. For him, it is, little steps that he wants us to take to grow in our spiritual life, and that's my understanding, that once you surrender, you're taking initiation, and you're moving towards, you're trying to move towards going back to Godhead, all your previous, your new life after initiation that you started, all your previous karma is gone, and you're now, and if you're really surrendered, which I am not, but then Krishna is, whatever challenges comes, then it's just whatever, Krishna is putting these little tests in our layman's term, that we have to pass. And makes, and he's putting it so that we can be stronger. He's not putting it because he wants us to fail. He's putting it because he knows we can pass it. He knows that we have the capacity. You know, my Guru Maharaj says, every challenge is an opportunity. And I never could understand that. I mean, he says that all the time. And I'm like, how do you see this huge, you know, problem? And whenever you see a huge problem, and then you say that that's an opportunity, I mean, how do you see that? You know, I could never understand. But when I put 2 and 2 together, and I realized that you can turn the table, you know, this is, and everything is running smooth, and, you know, you don't have that opportunity to be more humble, to be more tolerant, to you know, to make a difference in your own spiritual life. And that's when I realized, oh, that's what he meant when he said, you know, every time, you know, every challenge, every which we see everything like, oh my God, a big problem. I don't know why Krishna is doing that. Like, you know, we get into that mood. And then, you know, I remember my Guru Maharaj's words, and he says, you know, that's an opportunity. Okay, it's my opportunity to be tolerant. It's my opportunity to be humble. It's my opportunity to see how we can make it, you know, come out of it smiling big and, you know, and make it even better. You know, this opportunity to actually resolve and make it even nicer and better, and ourselves, our own sadhana, you know, it's just you know, a wake-up call almost, you know. Okay, hello, you know, it's time to take the next step. You know, you've been stalling for a long time. I got to take the next step. So anyway, I just thought I'd share that. That's all.
Well, it's good, but there's a point that the initiation is your first surrender. You could say Bhajana Kriya. You've now linked up with the parampara. You've taken, you know, another object of knowledge. You've accepted a bona fide spiritual master. Now the hard work starts, because it's true that he pulled the plug out of the fan, but residual, the same material body that your past karma got you still got that body. Yep. You still have that mind. Those things are still there. But the process, you've gone from Sambandha, now there's Sambandha again, now, you know, Abhideya, now the process of devotional service is there. And you're going to the platform of Nartaniya Vritti, of cleansing the heart. Now you're cleaning that room through Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam. Now you're getting that done. So why? So that we can at least become steady to the platform of Nishta, you know? Then after we get to the platform of Nishta, we chant with taste, ruchi. Then instead of being attached to the material world and attached to things other than Krishna and our misconception, we become attached to Krishna, Shaktis. Then there's preliminary love of God. And we purge ourselves. And then pure love of God. So, you know, so it's a highway up that we're going a long way.
Yes.
So where we're at, we're in the purificatory process. We're at that stage where we're in that nasty, filthy room. Like when you come to my room sometime, stuff all over. So we're cleansing that room. It happens to be within the heart. And we're cleansing the heart with the process of Krishna consciousness and prayojan. Ultimately, you know, the goal will be attained. That's why this chanting Hare Krishna is both the sadhana and the sadhya. It is the practice and it is the gold. In our mature state, we chant it purely, with no tinge of karma or jnana, not one tinge left. So it's wonderful. All right, I think my ghetto pass is about to get revoked. You know, we had our time, and I want to say one thing is that next week is Guru Purnima, and I'm fired up. We're going to chant 4 verses. We're going to go through. But next week, there's also at the temple, there's a program. We have a program downtown, but there's a program at the temple where you can come in the morning and chant japa together. We've never had that experience, but I can tell you something. If you can go to the temple, if you go in the morning and you chant in the temple room, and you prepare yourself that I'm going to meet Krishna, the experience will be wonderful. We're going to have something like that March, May, May or whatever. But this is the first opening. I'm going to do that downtown. Most of you are used to coming to the temple. So if possible, go and take shelter of the association of devotees. What to speak of old Lotus Sides, Lord Jagannath. Thank you so very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Haryashra Prabhu. So much to reflect on today. I mean, we've gone over prayer and the prayerful mood. We went to the holy name, and we touched on the approach to the holy name and the Shastakam. We're up to the fourth verse. Definitely looking forward to. I've always felt that at a certain point, things no longer become clear in the Shastakam. And we're right around that point for me. So I'm looking forward to continuing to talk about it and hear about it.
We're going to sing a song next week. We're going to chant 2 words. We're going to make it into a song. Govinda Virahename, Govinda Virahename.
So, but thank you so much for your time.
I'm such a fool.
These are deep subject matters, and I think they hit different people at different levels, whether, at a beginning stage, people that have been practicing, people that have been struggling, people that have been going through different stages in spiritual life and in life in general. But it's applicable all the way around. As you said, we really have to take this process seriously. It's not a superficial thing. It's not on the surface. It's not a ritual. We have to go inward. We have to go deep. We really have to want a relationship with Krishna. And that requires sacrifice. Inward sacrifice. Sacrifice of our own material desires. It just really, you put so much together today. And again, I thank you.
Thank you.
So we have the programs that we have that are advertised. Almost everybody here are regulars to our program. So tomorrow evening, we have our Sunday Feast Bhagavad-Gita presentation. Please tune in, 5:00. We're going through the 2nd chapter. Very, very detailed with different presentations. So I hope you can join in. Our temple, as Haryashra mentioned, we have Guru Purnima coming up. And all day long on Janmashtami, Mangalartik, all the way through the evening, we have things going on. We want to spread things out, allow devotees to come and enjoy and take part in the festival. We also have Harinam next week at Rittenhouse Square. The first time we're going out since the pandemic 1 year ago. But we thought this was an auspicious occasion to come out. Guru Purnima, Yuga Dharma. What better way to do it than to go out and chant? So we'll be careful. We'll be distanced. We'll be outside, but we want to bring some of Lord Chaitanya's love, to the city. So if you want to join us, 2 to 4 o'clock next Saturday, Rittenhouse Square. All right. Haryashra Prabhu. Look forward to the next session.
Antikalpa, Trubius Cha, Kripa
Yes.
Sindhi
Cha,
Vaishnava
Pranavebhyo,
Vaishnava
Vaishvebhyo, Namo Namaha.
Hare Krishna, thank you.